On the radio show today, simulcast over there on N2, I asked listeners about a hypothetical. If you could sit down with President Trump, advise him on changes to his new administration that would aid him in making America great again, what would that advice be? Their answers were myriad, but centered around a common theme: getting rid of elements in the establishment that are not dedicated to a government of, by, and for our people. Some unsolicited advice for President Trump. That's our focus in today's preamble. I was able to narrow down the suggestions to a small list. This is in no way meant to suggest that all of Joe Biden and Barack Obama's Democrat damage is going to be addressed with this list, but it's a good start for year one. Clean house by staffing the new administration with only America First people, by reducing the size and influence of the federal establishment. Accept no budget that doesn't cut spending from the previous year. Rid all government agencies of DIE and stop all payments to those pushing diversity, inclusion, equity. A clear reckoning also, and don't give time or access to leftist media. The first bullet point is self-explanatory. Our government is too big and spends too much of our money. If our politicians worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, which they don't even come close to doing, they would have no prayer of providing the mandated constitutional oversight of the federal government. Democrats have laced our government with radical subversives who seek to continue the left's cancerous agenda, even if constitutional conservatives are in charge. Trump must install managers that reverse exactly what Obama and Biden did. These leftists, Obama and Biden, used their apparatchiks to pack the government, expand it to a massive, unaccountable leviathan. Trump must remove anyone who was hired in those regimes, all of them. Those added in the Clinton and Bush years must undergo extensive vetting to ensure their service is to our nation, not to government abuse of our people. This also includes reducing unconstitutional federal programs and departments to minimal staffing. Trump may not be able to get rid of those wasteful bureaucracies, but he can make sure they don't harm us while he's in power. To that end, the next bullet point, it's key. Trump must make it clear to Congress that he will accept no spending unless it is in the form of 12 appropriation bills. He must then insist that no budget will get his signature unless it spends less money than the previous fiscal year. If the Congress doesn't do the work they are required to do by law, President Trump must pledge he will not sign any more fake budgets, either in the form of continuing resolutions or Mitch McConnell's favorites, omnibus spending bills. President Trump must be the grown-up in the room and restrain these overspending children in Congress. Tearing down and rebuilding the DOJ, by the way, and the FBI, that's a must. For you Democrats and Republican lawmakers out there who just have been agreeing to all manner of lobbyist-approved overspending, and you just don't have any idea how to stop overspending, you might find fertile savings in the next bullet point. The federal government must defund and expunge all elements of the DIE program. As implemented, the diversity, inclusion, equity agenda is a Marxist agenda and has no place in the United States. And taxpayers shouldn't be forced to fund such a destructive political endeavor. And that leads us to one word in the bullet points: reckoning. President Trump and his America First administration must serve up to Democrats exactly, and I mean exactly, the same treatment Democrats have been dishing out to him and to conservatives. The Democrats and the biased press claim it's all legitimate, so they should have no problem, no complaints when a conservative MAGA administration treats Democrats the very same way. If Democrats suffer as Americans have suffered under them, perhaps they'll be dissuaded from weaponizing our government against our people and the Constitution in the future. And lastly, but not leastly, the biased left-wing anti-American media, from MSNBS to CNN, from taxpayer-funded NPR to Karl Rove and the Never Trump Network. President Trump should deny access and interviews to all of these people. Joe Biden and the Marxists in his party have already told us it's A-OK to do so. Despite this show and Newsmax carrying Joe Biden's press conferences, Joe Biden refuses to take questions from our reporters and our hosts. President Trump mustn't reward shoddy coverage and left-wing bias that leftists laughingly call journalism. They have not, nor do not, deserve the imprimatur conveyed by an America First president's interview. President Trump's first term caught the president a little off guard. Rush Limbaugh conveyed this after a golf outing with Trump. The president nor his team can be blinded by what the Democrats have devolved into. And unlike the McConnell-Romney Surrender Caucus, Team Trump must never allow the left to harm our people ever again. Our greatest enemy abroad is Communist China. Our greatest threat at home is a political party cut from the very same cloth as the CCP. Trump must never allow either one to get the upper hand. And he must do everything in his power to diminish their ability to harm this nation and our people in the future.